don't worry, guys. This is not a me muted stream. Why am I already tired? Whatever, let's just get into the video. So, when they're exploring, come on! Yes! Not till I'm done. Can't you get it for Mom? What did I do to deserve this? Did you do your homework? Did you do it? Alright, so they're at the Kanto region. They would have caught in many Pokemon. I'll give you some followings. Arcanine, Lapras, Rapidash, Golduck, Gyarados, I'm only naming that. They would have caught a I'm kidding. That's all they would have mostly caught. Oh yeah, they also caught a Weavile. No, that doesn't exist in this region. They would have caught a Magnemite, some Magnemites, Electabuzz, and that's basically all they really caught there. Now Christian would just deposit all of his Pokemon besides all the Pokemon that he needs to train for now, as he's doing a rotation setup, as he only has Marshadow in his party and on his team, along with some of the Pokemon that he caught, to evolve them to update his Pokédex, as now they head to the Johto region. As Christian wants to build an ultimate team, as he gets a Cyndaquil. I'm kidding. He doesn't get any of the starters. He doesn't want any. He got a Mareep, a Larvitar. What are some Gen 2 Pokemon? By this you know that I'm not an experienced. Oh yeah, Fearow, Steelix. And tons more. Then they head to the Hoenn region. Christian would catch a Beldum, a Bagon. He'd probably get a Slacking and all that. Then they head straight to the Sinnoh region. Christian would catch a Riolu, along with Ash would catch one. But Christian caught a rare Riolu, which is a shiny Riolu. He got a Weavile, a Luxray, because those are tons of Sinnoh Pokemon I actually like. I like Infernape, but he can't have him. Now this is a made-up story, because since Journeys isn't finished, we're going to give Ash an ultimate team. Christian's Pokemon are probably almost fully evolved, aka his thing is probably a Greninja. His Froakie is probably a Greninja, who has Battle Bond, which is Ash Greninja, because they decided to call it Ash Greninja from now on, even if it's another trainer's name. It's going to be called Ash Greninja. He doesn't know that it has the form yet. He also has a Corviknight, which is pretty badass. Then they head to the Unova region, catch tons of Pokemon there. I don't care. And then Ash, they wouldn't really care about the Kalos, because Kalos isn't that good, and they wouldn't go to Alola either. Then they'd head back, and when they return, they see Hop and Marnie with all 8 gym badges. As Christian, also, while through their adventures, they all got to the top of the Master Class of the World Coronation Series as their masters. So they're going to start building their teams now. Their teams that they want to use for the league and all that crap. Also, on the way, they did collect every single badge in all the regions, which Ash already has. Christian and Go would just get them. So Christian will start building his ultimate team and his backup team. His first team, Marshadow, his Umbreon, Lucario, Greninja, and Corviknight. That is his first team. I'm pretty sure that was 6. Marshadow, Marshadow, So we'd have Marshadow, Lucario, Corviknight, Umbreon, Charizard. Then for his 6th and final Pokemon, he'd probably pick up a Luxray. He'd probably have Luxray. His secondary team, his first Pokemon, Arcanine. Next, Weavile. Then, Garchomp. Garchomp isn't in his main team, but then he decides to switch it up. And, I do not know. His team is Marshadow, Lucario, why can't I never remember these? Marshadow, Umbreon, Lucario, Corviknight. Who else did he have? Oh yeah, Greninja. And his final one, Garchomp. That's his final one. Then for a secondary team, Charizard. A Mega Charizard X. I'm kidding, he doesn't have that. He has a Charizard, an Electivire, a Weavile, then he's also got, from the Unova region, I'm kidding, he's also got Staraptor. Okay, here's Talonflame from the Kalos region. Then after that, he has Luxray. This is just tons of Sinnoh Pokemon. And then for his final Pokemon, Salamence. Brrr. Ash's main team is, of course, Pikachu. And then we're gonna go on, and then he's got his Lucario, Sirfetch'd, Dragonite, Dracovish, and who was your 6th member again? And Gengar. So Ash got a pretty balanced team. He doesn't have a second team. Oh yeah, actually no, he does. He has his ultimate team as his second team. First, Ash Greninja. He wants to take Ash Greninja for the league. Then he's got his Infernape, his Charizard. He's got his Greninja, Infernape, his Sceptile, his Goodra, and one last one, who he's gonna have as an electric type for his electric type bouncing out. I'm kidding, he's gonna have Talonflame. And for Ghost Team, he's got Cinderace. He's got a decked out Cinderace, a Flygon. I think his Pokemon was Dracozolt. You know, the electric type one. Then he's got Inteleon and Thwackey. Because remember, Go got all 3 starters. So now they've built in their ultimate teams. Now they're heading straight for the league. They'd all meet up and get ready to go. With all of Ash's old rivals heading straight to the World Coronation Series. Because all the regions were notified about the World Coronation Series Championship coming right up. For all those who are in Master Class to head on. Like, Gladion's there. We got Gladion, guys. Kiawe, who's a fully fledged trainer. Now, who's close to Kahuna level. We've also got... Then, now from the Center region, we got a fully fledged Dawn, Barry, and Paul. Kanto region, Misty and Brock. We got represented from the Galar region, Hop, Marty, Christian, Ash, and Go, who are all representing this region. For the Kalos region, we have Alon, Marin, who's got a pretty good team now, Sawyer, and that's basically them. That's 3. Actually, no. It's 3 there's 3 from each region, but for Galar it's an extra special because it's 4. Ash does not represent Galar. Ash represents Kanto. I mean, Christian would represent Kanto, but he spent most of his time in Galar. So yeah. They're all ready as Mallow, Delia, Professor Burnett, Professor Kakui, Dawn, May. Actually, not Tyson. Tyson from the Johto League, and, what's his name? Harrison. Harrison, the guy with the mouth. Would also be in this. And they'd be like an... Ash meets up with his own rivals. Oh yeah, only Chris, sadly... Okay, yeah. And Christian says... And also, the winning thing is then, after the final round, they have to face Leon. And whoever beats Leon gets to do it. Christian decides not to start with his first team against his first battle against Kiawe, it's a 3-on-3, so he decides to separate his second team to have the perfect amount. So he uses Charizard, Luxray. Okay, no, he uses Weavile, and he also uses his final Pokemon. I don't even remember what team I gave him. I don't know why I never remember this. And Salamence. He uses friggin' Charizard, Salamence, and his favorited, I'm kidding, and a Weavile. So his first match is with, Thing, of course. And it's a 3-on-3. And he instantly gets ready for his match against Kiawe. He walks straight into the stadium, ready, because they're all wearing soccer outfits, because, you know, Christian's looking like he's ready to go. Kiawe hasn't seen his full team. No one's seen his full team before. Not even Go. As it's time for him to start, Kiawe starts out his Charizard, as Christian says, Charizard, let's go! Boom. When it would start, Christian thinks to himself, should I do it instantly or should I wait? He thinks to himself, I'll wait. He said, as Kiawe's already attacking with Fire Punch, Christian says, Dragon Claw. As one quick Dragon Claw blasts back his Charizard, and Alon is like, this kid's strong. Very strong, in fact. Then he looks, but then he realizes, what? As he looks at it, it's Charizard's finger, his left finger, and then, his right finger on his right hand, as his pointer finger, as his actually left finger on his third hand. He goes, wait a minute. Christian says, respond to my heart, Keystone. Beyond evolution, Mega Evolve. Alon also smiles, saying, he actually used my words. Actually, I think he was a big fan of the Kalos region. As Christian's Charizard Mega Evolves into Mega X, and he goes, zoom. As Charizard goes, roar. Kiawe goes, Mega Evolution. Christian says, now, Charizard, Tough Claw's ability is active. Let's end it with one shot. Dragon Claw. And with the Dragon Claw launches Kiawe's Charizard, one-shotting it with just a Dragon Claw. And everyone's questioning, Kyowa's questioning how the heck did he do it, and Christian says, Charizard's ability when he's Mega Evolved into Mega Evolution X. Tough Claws increases physical attacks. That attack actually did 160 damage with just that one claw strike. Then he says, Marowak! As he says it, Christian says, this guy's definitely trying to be a fire leader. As he says, Marowak! Use Bone Meringue! Christian says, hit it away with wing attack. With the wing attack, he smacks the bone right at him and hits Marowak in the head, which actually does some sort of decent damage. He says, here it goes, Charizard. Watch out for the battlefield. As Marowak starts to shoot all kinds of attacks around the arena, which are all about to hit Charizard, he says, as he snaps his fingers, and Charizard does a blast worm which obliterates the arena, along with Marowak. As Alon says, geez, this kid has the same moveset as me, and everyone's shocked at that. He just nuked the ground. It's like, no one's really that shocked, but they are very shocked at what the hell he just did. He just nuked the ground. As then he gets ready. Then he sends out his final Pokemon. Charizard can't use another attack, as Turtonator gets off a cheap Dragon Tail, which hits Charizard, but it barely does anything. As Charizard just gets it swagged off, Christian says, now for our final move. As he laughs maniacally, as he says, Dragon Dance. As Charizard sets up a Dragon Dance as it's dodging off Turtonator's attacks, he says, another one. As he does another Dragon Dance, and then he says, perfect. Then he goes for a Z move, Inferno Overdrive. Christian says, and in one shot, Dragon Claw. As with one Dragon Claw, it actually cuts through and hits Kyowa, defeating him. Hits Turtonator, absolutely embodying it. He smiles, saying, Sawyer's like such power. Ash is even shocked. He goes, how did he do that? He took one hit from him. As then, after that, the next match is Ash versus Marnie. Now, Ash would just clap her. Since I don't really know Marnie's team that well, I'd say it's the final match between Pikachu and Morpeko. Pikachu would launch a final Thunderbolt, which would obliterate Morpeko. We haven't seen Ash Greninja yet. Then we'd have the next match, Go versus Hop. I think Go would still win this match. I think Go would come out on top with the final Pyro Ball from Cinderace, going, Pyro Ball! As he kicks it so hard. Which actually but then, with using his full power, Hop tells Rillaboom to use drum beating, as all kinds of vines start trying to hold it back. But then it hits Rillaboom, but Rillaboom for Hop survives. Hop says, I haven't gone this far just to lose. As he says, Gigantamax. And he transforms him into Gigantamax Rillaboom. Go says, you haven't seen the best of me yet either. Gigantamax Cinderace. He goes, Cinderace, Gigantamax. Then Go says, let's end it off in one shot. Use G-Max Fireball. I don't really know what Rillaboom's move is, so he says G-Max Vine Tangle. But then the Fireball incinerates it all and hits Rillaboom, defeating it in one shot. As Go says, we did it, Cinderace. As all of them are wiped out. Then we'd get tons more matches. Then we'd head on to let's just go on to the quarterfinals. Actually, the semifinals. It's Christian and Alon in a 6-on-6 battle versus an Ash versus Go in a 6-on-6 battle. You know, I really want to give Ash versus Alon remake. But Christian would use his second team fully. His full power of his second team. As he'd send out Salamence as his first Pokemon, and Alon would send out his Tyranitar. Christian knows how dangerous it is and has to worry perfectly about his abilities. I'm kidding. He uses his first team, and he instantly throws out his first Pokemon as Alon throws out his. Christian throws out Lucario, going as Lucario goes as a giant shockwave blasts back Tyranitar. As then he says, "All right, Lucario, Mega Evolve," and Insta Mega evolves. Then he says, "One shot it, close combat," and with one close combat wipes out Tyranitar. Now, even everyone in the stadium is shocked that one close combat one-shotted it. And Alon wants to know how much training did he do for that to work? And Christian says, it's not training. It's type advantages. I defeated him with one shot. Because Tyranitar is 4 times weakness to fighting. It's a rock and dark type. As Lucario is done with that. Then next he sends out on Pheasant. Lucario would start to bat it up, going as he smacks it down with a Bone Rush, even though it doesn't affect it, but this is anime logic. And Lucario would jump super high in the air, and Christian would say, "Damn it, we can't reach." He says, "Aura Sphere." As Aura Sphere comes up and hits on Pheasant, knocking it down. Then he says, "Close combat," as it goes and defeats it. He says, "Good job." As then but then Charizard comes out, and he is Insta Mega evolved. So Christian is screwed. So then Charizard and Lucario have a giant battle, but then Lucario is finished off with a final Blast Burn. Charizard is heavily damaged though. But then Alon is allowed to use one full of Restore and restores Charizard's health to the fullest. Christian throws out his next Pokemon. His Greninja. He says, "Greninja, I choose you." As Ash didn't even know he had a Greninja, and then it goes into Battle Bond and goes into full power. As Christian says, "Night Slash," as he cuts right through Charizard. Then they start to have a giant clash. With the final clash between Water Shuriken and Flamethrower. But the Water Shuriken cuts through and clashes with Charizard's head, knocking it out. Alon is shocked that his Charizard was defeated. But Christian's Ash Greninja is really low. But Alon didn't come here to play around. He brought out his real ace. But actually, then he realizes that wasn't a real Charizard. That was Zoroark. As it turns into Zoroark, and Christian realizes that Greninja wasted all its strength on a Zoroark, as he uses a full restore on Greninja, as the Zoroark actually faints. Somehow Zoroark knew Flamethrower, which we all know it can use. Then he realizes that's why Zoroark was only using Flamethrower, and that's why he only landed the final hit. As now, Greninja is in a bad state. Then he sends out his next Pokemon, Metagross. Then Christian says, "I think I'll give you a break, Greninja. You need a good rest." As it returns him and says, "Now for my starter, my favorite, Marshadow." As Marshadow comes out going, "Marshadow, Shadow." And everyone is shocked that he has a Marshadow. Then he says, "Alright, Marshadow, high jump kick." And with a quick jump kick clashes, going, but it's a clash between Meteor Mash and high jump kick. But I think Meteor Mash would blast him back. Christian would say, "Spectral Thief," as he would hit him with a Spectral Thief, which would deal kinda good in stealing Metagross's item, which is a citrus berry. Marshadow goes, "Marshadow," as it keeps it, and waiting until it gets hit. Then he says, "Meteor Mash," as Marshadow jumps out of the way. Christian says, "Shadow Punch," and with the Shadow Punch, clashes with Metagross's Meteor Mash, but then Meteor Mash would win again, but actually do damage. Marshadow weaks Citrus Berry, and then he says, "Alright, Marshadow, close combat," and with a close combat would knock back Metagross, as Metagross hits Marshadow with a giant flash cannon, which it almost defeated. But then Marshadow actually faked it, and realized that Metagross has multiple citrus berries on it. as he says, Spectral Thief! As another Spectral Thief comes in, and then it eats another Citrus Berry, as Metagross is not hitting it anymore, because Christian is really making Marshadow dodge all these attacks, and Marshadow's actually doing it for his trainer. Then he says, Spectral Thief! As another Spectral Thief comes, and absolutely bodies it, while also eating a Citrus Berry, as Marshadow restores to full health. Then, after that, he'd say, ah! Oh yeah, let's go on to Ash and Go's match. Now this is an interesting one. Go's first Pokemon, I'm gonna say they're down to their second to last Pokemon. They both have 2 left. Ash has Ash Greninja, who's dominating the arena, who is actually his last Pokemon, and Go is using Mew. Because Mew he has, but he's at a big disadvantage because Mew can't do anything. Then Mew doesn't give up, and he says, Mew, use Grass Knot! As a Grass Knot trips up Greninja. But Greninja ends it off with one more Water Shuriken, defeating it. As Go catches Mew, asking Mew if it's alright, but Mew is actually fainted. He puts Mew back and says, let's go! It's so bad! Oh yeah, this is the match before, remember this. As he Dynamaxes it, and it's Dynamax versus, Battle Bond. But I really want to make Go win this match so that Christian and Go could have a final battle. But really, Ash's ultimate team would clap Go. So they'd do a final clash when his Dynamax runs out. Ash has Giant Water Shuriken! And that would defeat Go's Cinderace, which would knock it out. Now back to the normal fight. Christian would turn Marshadow and send out his next Pokemon. The one and only Umbreon. As next, Alon sends out Bishop! Umbreon versus Bishop starts. As it starts, Christian says, Umbreon doesn't know a lot of attacks that can do anything. When Alon says Bishop uses Guillotine, Christian smiles, saying that Alon has no chance. So when it uses Guillotine, Umbreon falls. Christian is still smiling, and the judge is about to say it, but Umbreon gets right back up. Limply, Alon says, how? But then he sees around him, he actually just noticed, because he's kind of blind, he says, as then the Focus Sash appears. He says, that was a Focus Sash. As he says, Umbreon, do it. He goes, Umbreon! Breon! Umbreon! He says, use Moonlight. And now it's back to full health. He says, one final Dark Pulse! And a final Dark Pulse clash with the Dark Pulse, which would then defeat both of them. And then that'd be it. Until now, they're at their finalist. It's Christian's Talonflame! I'm kidding. It's his Garchomp. He has his Garchomp and his Marshadow left. And Alon's just got his Charizard. His Mega Charizard. Christian would say, Draco Meteor! As a Draco Meteor would rain down on him. Charizard would probably dodge all of them until one of them hits him, launching him down. Charizard would shoot a giant flamethrower which would obliterate Garchomp. Christian would yell no, as now he's only got one more Pokemon. Then he says, let's go, my one and only partner, Marshadow! As Marshadow goes, Marshadow, Shadow. He goes, alright, Marshadow, use Shadow Punch! As a Shadow Punch clashes with Dragon Claw, as it goes, as he says, alright, a quick jump kick. As they're really clashing. Until the finalist, where Marshadow's almost done and so is Charizard, they're almost knocked out. Then, out of nowhere, Christian would pull off his Mega Ring and put on his Z Ring. Then he'd put in a purple Z Crystal. I'll be right back. I need the name of it. name of Marshadow Z.
Here's what I found.
You want me to fill up the bag as well?
Throw the whole bag away, yeah. Throw the whole thing away. Make it happen now.
Alright guys, welcome back. So I found out the name of the Z move. He goes, alright, here we go. And then he says, then he does, yeah. Then he says, alright Marshadow, use Soul Stealing Star Strike. Marshadow would absolutely obliterate Charizard, as Charizard would go for Blast Burn, but for Marshadow Trainer, it would go full power and blitz through it, going Shadow. Then it finished off with its final attack, going Shadow, clashing.
Cam!
As then he's finally defeated.
Here.
But then when it's almost his time to face Ash, it's time for him to face Ash. And the final's a day later. When they do, a giant crater appears in the middle, and then a giant red beam comes out. Christian says, what? As then he sees a giant monster in the sky, which is Eternatus. As he sees it's way stronger, and also ultra wormholes are appearing everywhere. As they're going boom, 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 boom. Along with portals with Dialga and Palkia that are under control of Cyrus and Giratina, who are destroying the lands, along with so many legend Pokemon that are on the rampage around the Galar region. And all the 7 regions.
I already told Cam.
Actually, the 8 region. Christian thinks, what can we do? Then he says, look out here, Kakabashi! As they will say that, along with their Greninjas who create clones, who save all the people, getting them out of there. I know that they say that Double Team doesn't actually work because they're just illusions, but I'm going to say they do work, as he takes them away. Then he says, alright Ash, we have to do this, but then Ash gets her calm on his radar, as Kiawe runs up, going, Ash, we have a report from Lusamine. He says, bring Christian and go along. As he gives them new outfits to the Ultra Guardians as they put it on, and this is way too much. This is like a world threat, a regional threat. As they put on their Ultra Guardian clothes, Christian says, "I have no flying Pokemon." Then he says, "Charizard," as he needs a better flyer because Charizard isn't making it. Then he says, "Wait a minute," as he switches out his Mega Stone and puts in Charizard 8X. Charizard 8Y, saying Mega Evolve, and now he's Mega Charizard Y, which is much faster in flying. As it blasts forward, as Ash is on Dragonite, as they fly off, going as they get going. To the Alola region, then they finally make it. When there's a giant storm, they encounter Lugia. Christian says, "Now!" As Charizard would evacuate its ability, which would try and counter the thing, but then when they make it, they call the strongest Pokemon trainers. Alon is also there, along with Sycamore, the entire Kalos forces, all the forces of each region are there, where Lusamine is instructing them all. But then only the kids show up because they're the only ones who can make it. Karina is there, and them. Then, so let me name everyone's there. Sophocles, Lana, Mallow. Lily, Gladion, Kiawe, Ash, Christian, Go, and Alon. Those are the ones, and Sawyer as well. And Sawyer. Marnie and Hop as well. They'd make it, and Lusamine would announce that they have a plan. and all of them have to get all their Pokemon out and get ready. We're gonna need groups of 3 to take on a group of ultra recent legendary Pokemon, and if they can't do it, they give them the best of luck to defeat all these legendary Pokemon. They're gonna use the ultimate legendary thing. As Gladion throws out Silvally and all his Pokemon, Christian says to everyone that he's been hiding a Pokemon from them all, that he got when he was traveling around Alola. As he says, "Come on out!" As a yellow, black, and blue cat comes out, and he says, "This is Zeraora." He says, "And it's here to help." He says, "You ready, Marshadow and Zeraora?" They go, "Shadow, Zeraora!" Then he says, "Let's split up in groups of 3. In groups of 5, actually. Go says, "How about groups of 4, just like the Dynamax things?" He says, "Yes, all of us will use a certain skill. I'll use Mega Evolution. Ash, use Z moves. Go, Dynamax. Alon, you'll use Mega Evolution with me." And Alon agrees as they head out, as they're actually the captains of each team. They'll actually go as it's Christian, Ash, and Alon who are captains of 3 teams. There's going to be teams of all of them, and they need to pick their members perfectly, because they're what? That doesn't help me. What you doing? You're not gonna let it
Chris, grab me a popsicle when you're in there.
Okay.
Oh, right here, sorry. Let's get into this final arc. So Luceman gives them all papers of the legendary Pokemon that they will summon, and they have this radar thing that if they press a button, a giant ultra wormhole will come and all the legendary Pokemon that they're assigned to will come. They just have to scan the paper of all the names. Then it's time for them to take their groups. Christian was assigned with Sawyer, Go, Lana, and Lily. Ash was assigned with Gladion, Sophocles, Kiawe, along with Karina, and Alon with Professor Sycamore and Mala, whatever her name is, Mala. You know, the girl with the Houndoom. As they get ready, as the Elite Four actually goes with Alon, since he is the champion of the Kalos region, as he gets ready to head out, along with Diantha's with him. So then, they all get ready. But then Lance joins Ash's team. Lance, and Steven also join him, along with Marin joining Alon, with her newly evolved Chestnut. Then Ash has also got... Oh, he's got Misty, Brock, Dawn, Paul. My dude's got Paul on his team. Barry. He's got May. Max, who's got a Snorlax now? Like, these guys are all fully powered up. Iris and Cyrus. Not Cyrus, you know. The green-haired dude, whatever his name is. And they are stacked, ready to go out there and kick some ass. Then they head out there. As they all get on their ride, Pokemon as Christian's team heads out, along with Ash's team heading out, and so does Alon's team. Alon's by far got the strongest team, but he has the least amount of mythicals and legendaries on his team. Then Christian says, we'll have to catch the legendaries and bring them to Lusamine so then they'll return from their control. As they make it to the designated area, and Christian presses a button going, "Argh!" as it reads all the paper, and Groudon, Kyogre. Okay, you know what? Christian got Paul on his team. Groudon is summoned, so is Kyogre and Rayquaza. Actually, no, Rayquaza wasn't summoned. Rayquaza wasn't so. Though it's basically the weather duo, Lugia, the legendary birds, Ho-Oh, the legendary dogs. And they are not ready for this. They don't know what. Then they also have Dialga, Palkia. Well, Ash's group has to deal with Giratina, Yveltal, the freaking Reshiram and Zekrom, Kyurem, my guys, Kyurem, and so many more. Then Thing has to deal with Xerneas, Zygarde, except there's 2 Zygardes again. They also have to face... I gave most away the legendaries. They also have to face Rayquaza, and a lot more legendaries that I don't know of. Latios and Latias. Then Bonnie is also with them, with Alon's group. Alon warns her that she doesn't have strong enough Pokemon to deal with these, but then she says, "Squishy!" As then it forms into the complete Zygarde. And then he says, "Complete Zygarde?" Mallow, whatever her name is, says, "How strong is this little girl? She's in possession of a legendary Pokemon?" Then, after that, the battles start. So then it starts. All their Pokemon are sent out, and Christian takes on Groudon and Kyogre, as Go and Sawyer take on... and Paul will take on Dialga, Palkia. They take on them. Christian says, "Alright, here it goes." As Mallow and Thing also help, Christian can deal with the weather duo himself, along with Lugia, Ho-Oh, and Thing just with this Pokemon. He sends them all out going, he says, "Let's go, guys." And he says, "Zeraora, now, here's your chance. Use Plasma Fists on Lugia and Ho-Oh." That would clash hitting them both going, "Ding." He says, "Marshadow Spectral Thief on Lugia," as it hit it going, stealing away Lugia's giant water gem, which is actually going to make it better. Christian thinks, "Oh, God." And that's it for now.